Hello and welcome to another episode of LordSplodge Gaming Reviews. In this episode we're going to take a look at Forbidden Island from Gamewright. It says on the front, adventure if you dare. It's 2 to 4 players, 10 and up, and it's a cooperative game. So let's go have a look how it plays and I'll come back and tell you what I think of it. So here we have Forbidden Island set up how you would at the start of the game. We have the flood track, which we've set to the normal position. So you can have novice, normal, elite, legendary. So these essentially control how difficult the game is. So that's set to normal. In this setup we've got 3 players. There are a choice of roles. So you have diver, navigator, pilot, engineer, explorer and messenger. Each one of these has a special ability. So the diver can move through flooded spaces. The pilot, once per turn, can fly to any tile for an action. The messenger can give treasure cards to another player anywhere on the island. The explorer can move and shore up diagonally, and we'll get to shoring up later. The engineer can shore up 2 tiles for 1 action. And the navigator can move another player up to 2 adjacent tiles for 1 action. So we've got the navigator, the pilot and the diver in this example game. At the start of the game you'll set the island up so it's 4x4 grid and then 2 on each randomly. So each one of these has been placed down randomly as per the sped up footage at the start. And then what you'll do to start the game is you'll take 6 of the top flood cards and flood those. So Coppergate, we'll find that on the board, which is here, and we'll turn it over, which is flooded. And then Bronze Gate, which is somewhere. There's Iron Gate, Gold Gate, Silver Gate. You can never find these things. Bronze Gate, right next to the one I was looking at. And you'll do that until you have 6 of the tiles flooded to start the game at random. And then starting with whoever goes first, players start on Fool's Landing, which is this tile here, which floods. And at the end of the game they have to get all the 4 treasures back to here before it disappears. If this sinks completely, it's game over. So at the start of this turn, what they'll do is they'll take 2 cards from the top of the deck. Then they'll take 3 actions. Helpfully, on the back of each card it tells you the order of play. So it's actually the actions first. Helps if I check the rules. Then draw 2 treasure cards. You've got to have a hand of 5 or less. And then draw flood cards equal to the water level. And the actions you can do is move. So to move 1 space, 1 action, 2 actions, 3 actions. So to move there with 3 actions. Or shore up, so 1, 2 actions to get to there. And shore up takes a half flooded tile like so. It shores it up. Or they can give a treasure card, so if it's on the same as blue, you could give them one of these. And we'll get to why they need to do that in a minute. Or you could capture a treasure, and if you have 4 of any of the matching type of treasure card. So if you had 4 of these, and we're on the symbol, there's 2 tiles for each treasure, and it comes with these natty looking plastic figures that match the treasure. So Whispering Gardens here is one of them. That's also available on Howling Garden, which is up there. So if you had 4 of those, you could go to this spot, move your man there, so 1, the action for moving, and then say I'm cashing these 3 in, or 4 in, sorry, for that. And you take the treasure. And if you can get all 4 of the treasures, you can make it back to Fool's Landing and play a card to escape. So once you've taken your actions, move, show up, give a treasure, or convert a treasure, you then draw the number of these flood cards, equal to the number on the flood track here. So in this example turn, it's just going to be 2. There we go. Misty Marsh. And the Whispering Gardens. Now players can stand in half flooded areas, no problem at all. But if one completely floods, so if you pull that card again, if you pulled Misty Marsh again, and it was in this half flooded state, it'd go, you'd get it, take it out of the game, and you'd take the appropriate flood card out of the game as well. If the player was on that, you'd just put them on the nearest one. Now if they're unfortunate enough that there isn't an adjacent one to get to, so they can only move, they can't move diagonally unless you're one of the characters that can, and that would take them out of the game, and that would cause people to lose the game, because if one person dies, it's game over in this cooperative game. And what happens during the turn is, when you pick the treasure card up, sometimes you get a Water's Rise card. That forces this to go up. So now we're on 3. See there? So the next person's turn, when they've picked the treasure up, they take 3 of these flood cards. And as the game goes on, various tiles will start to disappear. And if you lose both of the that's not one. If you lose both of the matching treasure ones, so there's 2 for each treasure. If you lose that, it's game over. If Forbidden Island, so Fool's Landing goes, game over. But if you collect all the 4 treasure cards for each one and hand them in and get each treasure, then you win the game. That's it. It's Fool's Landing, the cooperative game from Gamewright Studios. Well, that's Forbidden Island, a cooperative game. It is a good game. As I say, as an advanced gamer, it has provided some tense moments. It's quite a difficult game, especially if you're not so good at working together or thinking things out. But after a few attempts, it is a sort of more simple game, so suitable for younger people or people new to gaming. The components, the plastic components for the treasure, they're excellent, they're brilliant. The cards are good quality. The game comes in a tin, which is nice. Some people complain that it's difficult to put on the shelf, but At the moment I've got no problems. If I was to have a lot more games than I've got now, then maybe stacking it would be a problem, because it's got some lovely embossing on the front there, which makes it a little bit slippy. But overall it's a very good cooperative game for those people who want to get into gaming, or for a sort of lighter evening, or for a younger player. It's worth owning. And Gamewright, I was going to call them Gamewright, are producing Forbidden Desert, a highly anticipated sort of sequel game to this, and I think that's on pre-order now. At least it might be in America. Not sure about over here, but I look forward to getting that and playing it and giving it a go. Anyway, stay tuned for more gaming reviews soon. Thanks for watching.